to another episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. My name is Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
And today we're going to be reviewing The Nice Guys, the new Shane Black film that came out this summer, like actually a week ago. And so on this podcast, if you've never listened to us before, we like to rant about movies and we drink while we do it. And today we've chosen a special beer called Ballast Point Watermelon Dorado.
Watermelon Dorado, huh?
Yeah, this thing hails from California, and it's a double IPA. Let's give it a sip.
It's good. It's smooth. Surprisingly smooth.
Surprisingly smooth for a double IPA, and definite like a watermelon, almost like a watermelon Jolly Rancher undertone.
Yeah, totally.
It tastes good.
Yeah,
it tastes
I like
good.
it. I wish mine was a little colder, but that's not the beer's fault. That's my fault.
Yeah, mine's super cold. It tastes pretty good.
Hey, Wes, don't rub it in, man.
Not trying to rub it in. Right?
I'm just kidding.
You can find more of our episodes on iTunes, Podomatic, YouTube, Facebook, all over the internet. We're out there, so seek us out. We've got lots of episodes. This episode is number 17.
Nice.
Which we've got a good number building up.
Yeah, we're building it up.
So, pretty cool. So first off, we'll start talking about what we've been watching since our last episode, and then we'll dive right into the review with separate non-spoilers and spoilers, so we don't ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen the movie. So, first off, Zach, what have you been watching?
Let's see. I've watched a lot since our last episode. Probably my favorite thing I've watched, though, is I finally caught 99 Homes.
How was it?
Dude, it's amazing. It is so good.
I want to see it so bad.
I loved it, man. Do you have Amazon Prime?
I do.
They just added it to Amazon Prime.
Yes.
You gotta check it out. It's super good, man. I'm
gonna watch it this weekend.
For those of you who don't know, it's about like the housing crisis, and Michael Shannon plays a realtor for the bank, basically, who's going around and foreclosing people's homes, and he forecloses what's his name? New Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay, the newer one.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield. He forecloses his home, and then through a series of events, Andrew Garfield works for him. And it's kind of about him dealing with, like, working for the person that, like, kicked him out of his home.
Yeah.
But also, he's making a crazy amount of money. So, it's really good.
Because of the mortgage crisis.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's really good. Michael Shannon rips at e-cig the whole movie, which is really enjoyable for some reason. But, yeah, super good. Really effective. All the performances are good. Andrew Garfield's got to earn it for me. I don't love Andrew Garfield, but he was really good in it. So definitely check out 99 Homes.
He's in some good movies, like Social Network. He has his moments.
Yeah, totally. He's not someone that I'm like, ooh, yippee, Andrew Garfield's in this though. You know what I mean? Yeah,
for sure. Like unlike
Michael Shannon.
Yeah, Michael Shannon.
Where it's like, he's in this movie? Give me that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's cool. It takes place in Orlando, right?
Yeah, I think it does, yeah.
That's cool.
I was looking around the whole time to see if I recognized anything, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe you will, though.
Maybe. I'll definitely check it out this weekend.
Yeah. What about you? What you been watching?
So I actually haven't watched too many new things. I've done some rewatches, and I've done some show watching, and I checked out the new Netflix show Lady Dynamite.
Oh, nice. I watched the first one. That's all I've seen, though.
Same. I watched just the pilot, the first episode. I really enjoyed it.
It's pretty good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like it's a very off-putting type of comedy, which is very much like Maria Bamford's comedy.
Yeah, totally.
Which is very just off and
like
sometimes
really abrasive at times.
Abrasive, sometimes very depressing, but at the same time, just almost on a genius level of like comedy.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it, and I think any Arrested Development fan will like it.
Yeah, Mitch Hurwitz, dude.
Yeah, Mitchell Hurwitz is he directed it, and he's got like a huge he's a huge part of the process, and you could definitely see that humor in there.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, which I love. I love Arrested Development, so I think anyone who likes that show will like this show, and yeah, I mean I just saw the first episode. I haven't seen the rest, but what I saw was I'm definitely interested.
Totally. And I'll say it has like the best opening of a show in recent memory. That opening is so funny. I was dying laughing. Like,
very funny. And I kind of like how they tackle like the tropes of making a show, and she like knows she's in a show.
Yeah. Weird jokes.
Meta jokes, but they also discuss like how do they really tackle a show that they're doing right now, you know? How do they tackle that show?
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, and at one point even she's like basically trying to make the show like a Louis type show, and a special guest comes in. I don't remember his name, nor do I want to really spoil it, even if I remembered. But he's like, no, don't make the show that way, you know?
Yeah, like you're going to put stand-up in your show? You're a comedian. Come on. Like,
yeah.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah. Them moving in the brick wall, too. After he's like, don't do stand-up, and it just shows them, like, moving a brick wall.
Yeah, like moving it offset.
Yeah.
That was really good.
It's funny.
You know, another thing we haven't talked about, and it's been going for, like, 6 weeks now, Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. I've been caught up.
I was caught up too
before, like when it started.
Yeah,
I've been catching up. I got hooked eventually, you know, into the thing where I'm just like, gotta watch the next one.
Good. So you're all caught up. You're current.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah. So obviously we won't spoil the show at all, but I like where it's going. I am happy with the show. I still love the show, but there's a definite difference. You can kind of feel it. They're not going off the books this time, and you can feel that difference, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's not necessarily bad. It's just it feels different, and things are moving faster. And yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, there were a few things in the season premiere, especially from the last season, that I'm like, how did that happen? Or like, they're really leaving this bit out. It seems kind of weird. Seems like an easy, you know, transition. Yeah. But that being said, it's still good. And I'm still, you know, that last one was nice. I'm liking that.
Yeah, the last episode was great.
And I do like that it's kind of moving at a faster pace, because I feel like some of the previous seasons, it'd just be constantly cutting to these people the whole season. They're just like, yep, still on the way here. You know, like it's them encountering people and doing things, but like they're still like, yep, just traveling. You know,
that for sure. I don't mind that it's going faster. In fact, it's actually, I think, kind of helping it, because it's like we've waited 6 seasons for this person to get across to this place. You know what I mean? Like it's time for things to start moving into place.
For sure.
Like, let's make things happen now. Not to say there's not been a ton of things that have happened before.
Yeah,
but as far as like the major plot points and like the overarching story, now things are finally coming together.
For sure. And that's exciting. I've been enjoying it.
Super exciting. And it's only going to go for, I think they've said 8 seasons.
Yeah, but aren't the next 2 going to be like the stupid, like, short cut in half? Someone told me that they're going to do season 7, but it's going to be like 2 seasons, 2 mini seasons or something.
Oh.
Which is just cheating.
Yeah, that's cheating.
But
that's lame. I mean, the seasons are already short. They're like...
Yeah, they're 10 episodes, right?
Yeah, 10 episodes, yeah. It's like, that's... shows are so much shorter now, man. Like...
Yeah.
When I went back and rewatched X-Files...
Yeah, it's like 22, 24 every season, right?
Yeah, some were like 25 episodes a season.
It's crazy.
And they're hour long. Long. So it's like 10 is like so crazy. Huge difference. And a lot of HBO shows are even 8 now. 8 episodes. Just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's one thing if a show starts and it's like, all right, 6 episodes season, first season. You go, okay. Like, that's what these
Yeah.
seasons will be. But once you start cutting back, you know, then it's
Yeah.
like, come on, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, come on. Give me more content, all right?
Come on.
You been watching Silicon Valley?
I have. It's been great.
It's been great. Only thing I'm like frustrated as a viewer about the show is like they can never catch a break.
Yeah, totally. It's pretty frustrating at times.
It's very frustrating, and it's probably purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they haven't accomplished anything really.
Yeah,
you know, like
totally.
nothing has been accomplished. They like hit a milestone, it's all completely shit, and then they hit another milestone, everything's ruined again, and it's like,
yeah.
So, you know, in a way, I kind of respect it for doing that because it's like that's pretty hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm frustrated as a viewer. You know?
Yeah, that the last episode specifically.
Yeah.
There were moments where I was like, I can't even watch this. Like, I can't watch this right now. I'm like stressed out. Like,
yeah, I'm stressed out. They like finally have something in place, like a plan in place, and then at the very end, you know,
What?
pointless. Yeah, come on, this is ruined.
Yeah, and I will say there's a few storylines, like the episode before this last one, that they like set up a storyline, and it's like, ooh, this is what this season's going to be about. And then it kind of just ends itself really quickly. And while I think the joke of that happening is funny, it's like I almost would have liked to see that extended. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. I'm trying not
Yeah,
to spoil
I do.
anything.
I do. Yeah, for sure.
But I still think it's super funny. I really like it.
It's definitely hilarious. Yeah, I overall I just enjoy it every time I watch it.
Totally.
It's a great follow up to Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and depressed, and you're just like, shit. Like that. All right, now let's watch something funny, but then you get stressed out.
Yeah, you get stressed out in a different way. Yeah. So what else have you been checking out?
Let's look at the list. I watched just a quick one. We have already reviewed it, but I watched The Witch twice.
Dude, I that was one of the things I was going to talk about. I rewatched The Witch.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah, I bought the
How'd it hold
Blu-ray.
up?
I love it.
It's so great.
It's great. It's great. And especially now since, you know, we kind of saw it when it had just come out, so I hadn't really, besides you, hadn't really been able to talk to anyone about it.
Yeah.
And now some more of my friends have watched it, and most of them like it, and I'm just like, yes. And then rewatching it too, it's like, yes, this is great.
It's so good. I don't get how people can say that nothing happens in that movie. It's like something happens. I feel like that was a complaint I heard. It's like, it's boring. Nothing happens. It's like, are you kidding me? Something insane is happening in every scene of that movie.
In every scene, something crazy happens.
Yeah. And it's nice and short, but feels long. It doesn't like feel too short. It has a good like vibe, pace.
Great vibe. It's like one of my favorite type of horror movies, which is just an eerie, dark feeling. You know, it's something uncomfortable you feel inside, and it's just like, it's great. It's just very well made.
Totally.
The cinematography is spectacular.
It's pretty out of control.
It looks so good, and every shot's moving. You know, every shot's like panning or pushing in or pulling back or just like following things. Like every shot was moving, and I love that.
Yeah, it's a solid flick. I watched it with someone who hadn't seen it. With Sean, actually, he hadn't seen it, so I watched it with him.
Nice.
And then a few nights later, two of my roommates were like, "Oh, I think we're gonna watch it." I was like, "I'll totally watch that shit." Like,
I'll watch it again.
Bop it in, dude. Like,
yeah. What'd Sean think of it?
He was a fan. We were kind of juiced when we watched it. So it's a weird movie to watch, like, kind of drunk, but
it totally is. Yeah.
It seemed like he enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
And it looks great on Blu-ray too.
It looks. Eating that up.
That baby blue. I got only one more thing on my list. I also rewatched Interstellar.
Nice. How'd that hold up?
Yeah. Great. I love the movie. I know that it has its issues, and I know it has a lot of problems, and some people straight out hate the movie. But I am just, the more as time progresses, I become a bigger fan of the movie. Not just because of the content, but the ideas that the film invokes. And
totally.
It's really just about the ideas and like where they go and the execution of the film. And I don't know. I love it. I'm a huge space guy, so it's just awesome. Plus, it's like based on real science. And it revolved around Einstein's theory of relativity, which recently got proven correct, which just makes the film cooler, you know? So it's like, that's real, you know?
Yeah, totally.
That would happen if you're next to a black hole, you know? So those kinds of things make me a huge fan of it, and I love it. It's a great movie.
It's a real solid flick. I definitely have issues with it, but comparatively to some of his other movies, like Inception, just like way better.
You think so?
I think so, personally.
I like it a lot more than Inception, for sure. I think they're both great movies, but and Interstellar has some big flaws going on with it.
Oh, totally.
But
those set pieces, though, are
the set pieces and
just done so well. Like the black hole sequence and the wormhole, and like
there's a lot of wormhole. There's a lot of heart behind it, behind the movie. And some people are like, I think this is kind of somewhat of a backlash on Christopher Nolan's end. People have said his films are like too cold. They lack any warmth or any happiness. And I think this disproves that, because Interstellar is more like a Spielbergian film. Yeah. It has like that heart to it, you know? It has that family connection and love theme going on. So I'm super excited for his next movie, Dunkirk.
Yeah, it's a World War II movie, right?
Yeah, World War II.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it comes out next year. He just started shooting. So super cool.
I'll be interested to see him do something that isn't so like conceptual, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Because all his movies are based on like Interstellar. Like, we're gonna have these crazy sequences of them going through wormholes and like
going through dreams, like, and dream within dreams.
We're dueling magicians, you know.
There's too many dreams within dreams.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see him make just like a World War II movie, you know. Yeah,
for sure. It'll be really cool. Something he's never done.
Yeah,
I'm excited. And you know he's a big IMAX boy.
Oh yeah,
film guy, which is it's gonna look so good.
Oh, it's gonna look nice.
Yeah. So that's it for my list, man.
Let me pick out one or two. What do we got here? I watched Outlaw Gangster VIP.
I've never heard of it. How was that?
It's a late '60s Yakuza movie made by the Nikatsu studio.
Interesting.
And just super fun, real good. I've been watching the Battles Without Honor or Humanity series, which I think I talked about on here once, which are like super like neo-real like Yakuza movies, basically. They're shot kind of documentary style. It's all based on these journals from like these Yakuza confessions, you know? And these movies, this is a 6-film series that I would just watch the first one. They're also based on the same confessions. But they just have way more fun with it. And it's just super stylized, like 235, anamorphic.
Interesting.
And I basically just really like anything that Nikatsu made in that time period. I know eventually they got into like weird porn fetish movies, which I haven't seen, so I can't claim I like all the stuff that they put out. But there's just this there's just energy to their movies that are really nice. Like I think Tokyo Drifter is still like the best, you know, most prime example of like what the genre feels like, you know.
Gotcha. But I watched that with you when I was in Chicago. I watched that with you when I was in Chicago.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's super fun. This one's a little less like surreal feeling, because that there's like all the weird colors and stuff, but this one's really nice because they shoot a lot in not in areas that you wouldn't expect. In a lot of their other movies, There's a lot of interiors. There's like short scenes outside, but there's a lot of outside in this movie. So you get like a cool look on like what just life was like in like on the outskirts of Tokyo in the 60s, you know. It's a lot of nice scenery. So it's really interesting. It was fun too. I liked it.
It's like an aspect you don't typically see in film, or we've never obviously experienced ourselves. So it's interesting to see. It's a concept, I think.
Yeah, totally. It's like it's more so a glimpse into the time period than some of the other stuff.
Yeah, it's unexplored, really. That's cool.
But yeah, it's good. But was a big fan of that, and cool. I also saw High Rise, the new Ben Wheatley movie.
How was that?
It was good. I liked it. It's
really?
I left and I was like, well, should we go buy tickets for the next show? Because I just need to see that movie again. Like, not necessarily because
really?
I loved it so much that it was the greatest, but just like I need to like chew on it a little more, you know?
Yeah.
Because everything's motivated not by like the character. It seems like it's motivated by like metaphor. If that makes sense. It seems like all the characters are doing things more to make a point and less because, like, this is what they would logically do in this scenario. If that makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, at first, it's a little weird because you're like, why is this guy doing this? And, like, this is strange. And I feel like I was questioning it a lot during the movie and, like, I was trying to peel it apart while I was watching it too much, you know?
Yeah. It's based off a novel, right?
Yeah. And you can tell that, like, a lot of other things have, like, borrowed concepts from that. But, yeah, it's basically just, like, everyone living in this high-rise, the class structure, like, throughout the building. There's power outages in the lower levels, which is where, like, the cheaper apartments are, and all the power is going to the top, where there's like literal like powdered wig like cocktail hours and
really?
Huge like lawns with like people like tending to all these like hedges and stuff, and and it's about Tom Hiddleston living kind of somewhere in between.
Is there a reason that they're in like everyone is in this building and not like on the ground?
Well, there's it's kind of just unspoken. Like, there's a few scenes of them leaving, because it's just, like, where... It's not like they're shut off from the outside world, you know?
Yeah.
Because they show Tom Hiddleston's character, like, going to work a few times. So it's... And
like
there's parking lot.
Like, in the same building, to, like, live in one building?
No,
or...
he, like, leaves.
Oh, okay.
But then, throughout the movie, it almost seems like no one can leave. Like, as the anarchy kind of builds...
Yeah.
It just has this feeling of, like, they're trapped... Which I think is more so trying to say something than like a literal there's no explanation, basically. Or at least to my knowledge. Maybe there was and I missed it. But
interesting.
It's that you're asking yourself these questions while you're watching it, but then you kind of realize at a point like that, well, that doesn't matter, you know? Like the logistics of this aren't supposed to matter. So I think it'll be a really good rewatch, but it was hard to unravel watching it just once, I guess.
I hear that it has a lot of similarities to Clockwork Orange.
I can see that.
Yeah, like in the style. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the 60s futuristic look going on.
Totally. And the production design and the cinematography is super good. Like, it looks real nice, and all the set design and costumes are really cool. But, yeah, just kind of a hard one to crack. Or maybe it's a really easy one, and I'll watch it again and be like, what was I thinking? But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out eventually.
I would definitely watch it. I think it's on demand. I think you can just, like, watch it.
Oh, that's cool. That's good to know.
But, I would definitely recommend it. But, and I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm anxious to watch it again. It's just very, very strange. Really strange.
Yeah, very strange. How did Tom Hiddleston do in it?
He was good. I liked him. And I liked Hobbit guy, whatever his name is. The archer dude from The Hobbit. He's in it.
The guy who does all the, like, motion capture stuff?
No, the, like,
Martin Freeman?
No, not Martin Freeman. The guy from Lake Town, the archer man with the mustache. I gotta just look him up now.
Yeah, just look it up.
But yeah, there's really good sex scene in the movie. I'm usually just like, cut the sex scene out of this movie. I don't need to see it, you know?
Right.
One of the better sex scenes I've seen in a movie recently, so that's a good thing.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's a perk.
Luke Evans.
Luke Evans.
This guy.
Oh, yeah, the guy from Dracula Untold. He was in that one.
Yeah. He's good in it. And
That's
also,
cool.
By the way, I also don't mean like great sex scene. Like you can see those tits. It's so good. Like,
right. But, yeah, like, oh yeah, the titties were so good.
Yeah, lots of nudity. I loved it, dude.
Rockin' body. Yeah.
But no, just a sex scene that I haven't really seen.
Was it motivated? It felt motivated, and it was just like well executed. And,
it was interesting. I hadn't seen like a scene presented like that before, at least in recent memory.
You know, most are just forced. You know, they're just like, well, we have to have a sex scene.
It's like, well, the people have to know that they bang, so we just gotta show it.
So we have to. So we show them doing that. Yeah.
Show don't tell. All right, let's have a 5-minute scene.
Actually, I appreciate when movies nod towards it, and it's like, but they don't show it. It's like, you get it. You know, it's like, okay, you get it. You don't need to show. You don't need to see it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Unless there's gonna be some sort of like dynamic that happens during the sex scene.
Right.
Like that movie Love, the Gaspar Noé movie.
Did you watch that?
I did, yeah.
I want to check it out.
Dude, you should watch it. I thought it was good. Honestly, the sex scenes are the best part of the movie. And it's not because they're super graphic, you know?
Well, they're real, right?
Yeah.
They're not simulated. They're real. It's like borderline porn. It's like an art house porn film.
Basically,
that's what it is.
But the sex scenes themselves are staged really well and like tell you more about the characters than like the scenes of them just talking, you know. There's very clear dynamics like happening. Like there's a scene where a couple like invites another person to have a threesome.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that they execute that, it's like is better than them just after the threesome talking about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain applications where I feel like it's definitely justified and it works, but
Gaspar Noé, man, he's an interesting guy.
Yeah, for sure. Very bold boy.
He's very bold.
You'll know what you're in for from the opening shot of that movie. It's crazy.
Oh man, I do want to eventually watch that. That's been on my list for a while.
I'd say it's worth a watch. Some of it's like a little heavily seems heavily autobiographical, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, I want to be a filmmaker. And there's like posters all over his apartment that are just like clear nods to like, I like this movie, I like that movie. You know?
Oh, really?
Which is like, whatever. I get it.
Yeah,
he could have been
that's
something
fine.
else though. That was the main thing. Like, I didn't know what that was bringing to the movie, him being a director.
Yeah. Did you ever see... Oh, you saw it. I love Enter the Void.
Yeah, I think I watched it with you, didn't I?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
It is. It's a little long. That's my only complaint.
It is super long, but it's like on another level of experimentation.
Yeah, totally.
It's a great movie.
It's very interesting.
Very interesting. Anyway, that's actually I think the only Gaspar Noé movie I've seen.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Irreversible, which
I
is
haven't
another
either.
real big one, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I've seen one of his earlier movies, but I don't know. Whatever.
Interesting. Whatever. So this week, here's just a topic of discussion.
Yeah.
I bought an Xbox One.
Very nice. How you liking it?
I'm really liking it. I was a PlayStation boy for a long time. And I had a 360, so I played Xbox for a long time, but I've leaned towards the PS4 for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I love gaming, and I haven't been gaming for a long time. I've just been playing games on my computer, but I've missed console gaming very much.
Yeah.
So I've waited 2-3 years now to decide which one I want to go with. And I decided I'm getting one. I'm getting a console. Mm-hmm. Okay, I want one. And I did a lot of research, and basically they are even. They're completely even. It just depends on what game exclusives you prefer. That's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose Xbox One for mainly one reason, which is I like the Xbox exclusive games, but also it would be dumb for me to buy a PS4 right now because they're about to release their new console, which is for 4K television.
Oh, yeah?
And introduces VR gaming.
Wow.
It's a VR console.
That's crazy.
Basically, why I brought this topic into discussion was I wanted to lead into VR.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't buy the PlayStation 4 because why buy that when they have a VR one coming out at the end of this year? It'd be dumb.
Totally.
So, what do you think about VR? And I think this is like some new technology that's definitely going somewhere. And I'm actually starting to I've been working on some VR advertising lately.
Oh, whoa, cool.
Yeah, and it's a new frontier, and I've kind of just been in this world for a little bit for the past few weeks, and I see where it's going. I just want to know your thoughts on what do you think VR is?
This is good timing because I recently tried VR for the first time. I had not tried it.
Cool.
Beforehand, I was kind of like, I understand the appeal, not for me,
Yeah.
And while I still don't think I'm going to be running out and like buying an Oculus Rift or anything, I see after trying it, it is incredibly immersive. My roommate was looking into getting one, and he was looking at the HTC Vive.
Yeah, which I hear is great.
Yeah, so they were doing a demo at a GameStop. There's like one GameStop like on the outskirts of Chicago that had one. So we went and tried it like in the store.
Yeah.
And we waited a long time to try it, and I was like, put it on, and it was like, all right, just dial in your focus, and I'm like, is this supposed to be focused? This looks like shit, just like being super skeptical the whole time. I'm like, no way, I'm just gonna know I'm in this GameStop and this isn't gonna be sharp. And then the instant it turned on, I was just like, I am in a virtual world, just so immersed. And when I took it off, it was like 10 minutes, and I was like, wow, I've just been in this GameStop this whole time. This is crazy.
You feel like you've teleported to this other place.
It's pretty wild, man. Like, I was not expecting it to be that immersive.
Yeah. It's really crazy. What VR device did you use when you tested it?
It was the Vive, the HTC Vive.
So it was the Vive, okay.
And there was or what were you saying?
I just haven't tried that one.
It's pretty good. And the guy was not very helpful that we were doing it with. They're like, what's the resolution on the screen? He's like, ask me any questions you want. Any questions. We're like, what's the resolution? And he was just like, you get in there, tell me if it's not sharp enough.
Like, that didn't answer my question.
How much does it weigh? It's like, oh, you'll see, it's light. It's like, no, I'm asking the specs.
Give me the specs of the device.
Yeah, it's like, who are you? Why are you working here if you don't know?
You said any question.
Yeah. What's the distance? He's like, oh, there's not going to be a problem with the distance. It's like, no, but like, what's the maximum distance of these sensors?
Don't sell me on it. Tell me what is the actual numbers here.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
The walking, I would say, is cool because it makes it more immersive because you're walking around in the environment, but there's just not that much space.
Yeah.
It's like 16 feet across, I think it was. Which I think he was being weird about. Like, I was like, so this is the max. He's like, yeah, dude, 16 feet. It's going to feel real big. Can get bigger. I'm like, can it, though? You said this was the max. Like, I don't really understand.
You don't know what you're talking about at all, do you?
Yeah, totally. But,
So was it was when you put on the Vive, it was not real footage, right? It was like a 3D, like CGI type thing.
Yeah, there were three demos on it. Or four, technically, because first you're walking around in the hub, which I found really weird. Like, just walking around in, like, a PlayStation menu, basically.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
It's crazy. Oh, man.
And then there was, like, one where you're underwater, And it's not like a game. You're just like, I'm in this old ship, and a whale goes by, and the guy's like whispering in your ear. He's like, all right, just look at the tail of the whale. And you're like, whoa, it's crazy.
I can see it.
Yeah. So there's that one. And then the one that I thought was the coolest was there was like a drawing thing where you have your two controllers and you can just draw in 3D space. So you like make a picture and then you step to the side and then it's like all different depths. And your other controller, there was like a hologram layer on it that had like your palette, and you like turn it around and there's like different palettes on each side. Really crazy.
We're in the fucking future, man. Gee,
we are living in a sci-fi universe.
We're living in the future. That's it. We're waiting on the thing to tell us. That's it. That's just nuts,
People
man.
are going to be just in a literal other world in their house, just experiencing a completely real feeling other world.
Skip to 20 years from now, people are just going to... they're never going to leave their house. Mm-hmm. And they're just going to live in this immersive, like, Second Life type thing.
It's super crazy, man. VR porn is going to be so dangerous.
I read an article that they're shooting the first VR porno right now.
That's outrageous, man. That is going to destroy people's lives.
It's going to destroy people's lives. Lives will be ruined.
Yeah.
Families will be separated. Yeah, it's crazy, man. See, I have less experience with the Vive, and I haven't tried the Oculus or anything like that. Yeah. I've been playing with like the Samsung mobile device ones where you have to have the phone, and then you switch it, and the Google Cardboard as well. You basically use a phone, you hook it in, and you play 360 videos, which you can watch on YouTube and Facebook. You know, you've probably seen them. You turn your phone around and you can see stuff in 360.
There was one of Danny Trejo eating tacos that I thought was really funny. Just like, eat
it's a 360 video?
Yeah. It's
amazing. But the company I work with, we're trying to pitch a 360 advertising to to one of our clients, and yeah, we've bought the rig, and we've used GoPros that they're on this rig that are in this. I think there's 12 GoPros in like a sphere, and then we stitch them together, and we've got it down to where it actually looks really good. Nice. And the thing about this technology too is it's still like on the frontier, like it's brand new, you know, especially with real footage. And a lot of videos you'll look up online and stuff, the resolution's not great.
Yeah, totally.
It was maybe shot in 4K, but when you have 4K stretched over 12 cameras, it's not going to look that great. Totally. So, but yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see it kind of evolve, and more and more like higher end companies are doing it. Mm-hmm. A lot of resorts are doing it. I think Hyatt just released a video of, I forget the comedian's name, but it's a comedian like in a shower just talking to you. He's like, hey, look around. You're in the shower. That's what it looks like. Just like little videos like that.
Yeah. And
I think it's going to get a lot bigger, and it's just really crazy. It's just a whole new way of thinking about things too.
Totally.
Like movies and advertising, and then video games. It's like, this is the next step. You know, this is the next frontier in this world, you know? And
yeah.
I think it's just really nuts.
It's super crazy, man.
And you really can't describe how immersive it is until you try it.
Yeah.
You know?
I would have never thought I would have been so convinced by it before trying it.
Yeah. And it's like when you first put it on, you're like, okay, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
About a minute passes, and
you're just like,
1 minute passes, and you're just like, I never want to leave, you know? Like, this is so crazy. And you also know that you're just in just in a room, so you could, like, run into things, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But you, like, really lose your balance, and your brain just triggers, like, this is real. What I'm seeing is real. Mm-hmm. And
it's wild, man.
That's just, it's a whole other level of craziness.
When my roommate tried it, because we had to take turns, you know, he went first.
Yeah.
And I just thought this was funny. He was so like disconnected to where he was. He was playing, the third game was like a shooter game where you're just like shooting robot guys or whatever that are flying around.
That's awesome.
And he has his controller out and he's turning around and he holds it like an inch from my face. And it's like
doesn't know you're there.
Yeah, no idea that I'm right there.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing because I'm like, he has no idea he's 1 inch from my face right now. Like, no concept, you know? It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this is going to go. I don't think it's a fad. I don't think it's like a 3D fad. I think it's it's something.
For sure.
And especially with PS4 releasing their new console for VR gaming, they have their own headset, which you'll be able to just buy VR games and just play in your living room. This year,
this is insane.
Is just insane. I'm really excited to play like an immersive story game.
Yeah, totally.
VR, you know, like a RPG, one player, just like immersive story. I'll never want to leave home.
Totally.
I will never want to take that thing off. So, anyway,
you got to get one of those. Have you seen those stands that have like the slick dome or like a bowl in the middle, basically?
No.
You wear these shoes and it's like tracks where you're walking, and then you're like hoisted by the waist.
Really?
So then you can just walk around and you're just walking in space, but it feels like in place, but it feels like you're walking.
That's crazy.
It's super crazy. It's like once you have that, then like you are completely in another world.
Yeah, you are. I think VR is the big talk of 2016 too. And there's a new laser tag place that's opening up, I think in Texas. I may be wrong about that, but it's a complete VR laser tag.
Whoa.
But you do walk around, and when you take the goggles off, you're just in like a gray room that has the structures that are built in the VR.
Yeah,
but they're just like bland. You know, you see kind of like that in Civil War. The same type of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're like bland rooms, but when you put the goggles on, they're like immersive environments. That's crazy. It's a laser tag game that's VR. So you're like in a video game shooting your friends and stuff. And actually running around and like shooting them and stuff.
It is so wild.
Like you actually will run it, you'll see the wall. There's a wall there. You move past the corner and they have like little things too. Like there's like quote unquote spider webs that they're just real strings, you know, and you like move them aside. It's like that's in the game. You like move through it.
Oh man,
it's like that's gonna feel so real.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
and I wonder what that's gonna mean for movies, because I've heard talk about VR movies, but like how does that work? Are you just gonna be like in a movie, just like walking up to the characters being like, hello, like I'm in this movie? Like,
here's the thing,
is it gonna be like Hardcore Henry where you're Henry? I don't know.
Yeah, I think VR it's gonna find its niche with gaming.
Oh, for sure.
And advertising. They're gonna shoot movies with it, but it's gonna be very can't think of the right word, gimmicky.
Yeah.
If they do that, because here's the thing with movies, it's a different type of media because you're looking in one direction, right? Now, if you put a movie that's 360, you're not gonna end up paying attention to like what the scene is. You're gonna be looking around, and also you got to gather that much more information around them. Like you have to gather all the info, all that footage around them to create that environment. So I don't know. It's really interesting. I don't think movies will stick around in VR because it's just like you need that one shot look at something.
Totally.
You need that, and it also movies are about editing and styles and stuff like that. Like you need that.
Like how do you make an edit in VR?
Yeah. There's no like you can't shoot to a close up. You can't shoot to a wide or anything like that. It's like you're in the scene and that's it. That's all it is.
Literally the only two things I could think that would work would be like Hardcore Henry, the movie, you know, where it's like you're seeing through someone's eyes, but they're doing everything. Or like if there was like a court case movie where you're just like a member of the court, but then it's like sitting here watching a court case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've just heard a lot of talk about this and like VR movies being a thing, and I just don't understand like what they're gonna be. You know.
I think, like I said, I think they're gonna have to be gimmicks for them to work. Like you can't take a movie like The Revenant and have it be a VR movie. You just can't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. Like it'd be cool to like kind of look around as they like walk through the forest and stuff, and you're like looking around. But then, how do you progress the story? Would it just cut like a normal movie? Cut.
Because then that's going to be disorienting. If you're in VR and it's like, whoa, I'm in this other spot. Whoa, I'm here. Like,
and also, it creates a thing too, where in a movie VR experience, you wouldn't be able to walk anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you have to record every direction, every angle of footage, and create that information. Yeah. So like if you walk 45 degrees this way, you need to create 16 feet out of 45 degrees that way and all the way around, 180 in that circle.
You'd have to literally spiral out with your camera rig and just make every single...
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Like realistically, it's just... So, that's why I think it'll stick to gaming, because gaming, it's not footage. You create it. You create the environments. So you already had the advantage there. And then for gimmicky movies, like Hardcore Henry, stuff like that.
I also saw this thing, because my roommate, he's really into VR, so he's always looking up these VR videos and showing them to me. And there was one of this guy who was testing, I think the Oculus Rift, or maybe it was the Vive. Yeah, it was the Vive because he was walking around. But he's like, here we are in a virtual movie theater. Like, you can come in and invite your friends to come watch movies. It's like, why the hell would I be at home and go in a virtual movie theater and watch the movie on a screen in a virtual environment that's on a screen that I'm watching?
Yeah.
It's like, then you can watch it with your friends. It's like, what, with CG renderings of my friends sitting next to me? It's like, so I can like chat on my keyboard like while we're playing. It's like, I'll just text them.
Yeah.
Like, come over and watch the movie.
Yes.
I just thought that was hilarious.
It is hilarious, but that could happen, man.
Yeah, dude. Hey, you want to meet up in VR? Watch this movie later? We start reviewing movies that we watch together in VR.
Seriously, it could happen.
It seriously could.
My friend Ian has the Samsung set, and he has the phone thing that goes with it. And so when you have that set, you have certain apps you can use. And there's a VR Netflix.
Whoa.
But it's interesting because you put it on, and you just lay on the couch, and you can watch anything on Netflix. It's streaming through your phone. But you watch something, and you're just in this this virtual reality living room, like in this cabin in the mountains. You look to your left, there's a window with a mountain. You look to the right, there's a staircase. But in front of you, there's this large screen, as if you had this large screen TV in front of you. You're just on this couch in this very huge, rich-looking cabin. And you just watch the movie on this screen. And you can look around, but it's like, why?
Yeah, what's that all about?
I'll just watch it on my TV.
Yeah.
But that's just a step, man. I think it's just so crazy.
It's just really strange. It's hard to wrap your head around.
It is. We're going to look back in 20 years, and it's going to be like the internet. Yeah, the internet being created.
There was no internet?
Yeah. Yeah, remember when we had to dial up on the internet?
Remember when like Vives cost like however much they cost? Like, come on.
$500, remember that?
It's crazy.
So.
Pretty insane though.
Crazy stuff. What do you say we move on to our review?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We are going to start a review for The Nice Guys starting right now.
Equanimity. Quality of being calm.
Who is it?
Messenger service. Even-tempered. Mr. March, we're gonna play a game.
I think you have the wrong house.
It's called shut up unless you're me.
I love that game.
You're a private investigator?
There's 20 bucks in there, all right? Just take it.
No, I'm not here for that. I'm a messenger. Give me your left arm.
No!
Yeah, come on.
No!
When you're talking to your doctor,
No!
tell him you have a spiral fracture.
No!
Deep breath. I'm not in the yellow pages. But if you got trouble with someone, you might ask around for me, Jackson Healy.
I work for the Department of Justice. My daughter, Amelia, is in danger. Please, find her, protect her.
March, Jack Healy. I'm not here to hurt you, so I'm gonna ask you a question.
How stupid do you think I am? I got a license to carry, dumbass. And ever since your little visit, this little baby's gonna stay right here. Don't move.
There's a couple of people I trust say you're pretty good at this. I want you to find Amelia.
I would have thought your job ended with breaking my fucking arm.
You're the guy who beat up my dad.
Hey, sucker punched your dad. Big difference.
So that was from the trailer of The Nice Guys. Just some info on this movie. I'm going to read a plot summary from IMDb. A mismatched pair of private eyes investigate the apparent suicide of a fading porn star in 1970s Los Angeles. This was directed by Shane Black and written by Shane Black and Anthony Bagarozzi, and stars Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. I saw this a week ago.
Yeah, I think I went on Friday. I went day one.
Yeah. So, Zach, general thoughts. What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I thought it was fun. I thought there were a lot of good jokes that kind of played on tropes.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel like it was bringing anything new to the table. You know? I thought there's the whole thing with the porn industry that, like, that's kind of what it's about,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
But I didn't really feel like they were saying anything with that. And I felt like I would have liked it more if they were trying to at least say something, you know?
Yeah.
But as far as the dynamic between the two actors, like Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling, I thought that was good. And I did like... I think the best thing about it were the jokes that play on the tropes of, like, this kind of movie. Because, you know, Shane Black's familiar with these type of movies because he, like, made them.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So it's nice to see that at least there was some effort put into, like, knowing that he's making another one of these movies.
Yeah.
And kind of trying to do something different with it. That being said, I had fun watching it. What'd you think?
Yeah. I pretty much agree with you. I think I had a great time watching it. I laughed a lot, you know. I thought the casting was actually pretty great and interesting because to see these actors interact with each other in roles that you've never really seen them in, especially Ryan Gosling, who you're just used to him being in a role where he's just so cool, he's good at everything.
Never talks and bursts
never
out in violence.
Never talks. He's so fucking cool all the time. He's awesome. Gets all the ladies. It was cool to see him kind of be a train wreck. And I do agree with you that I don't think it brought anything really new to the table. I mean, this is a type of movie we've seen before. It's a 70s movie, deals with the porn industry. We've seen this before. It's a buddy cop movie. That being said, it did try to take it in a different direction, and I think it sometimes went out of its way to kind of be like, hey, look, see, this is why this one's different a little bit. But I don't think it quite succeeded in trying to be that different.
Yeah.
There were certain things that were unexpected for sure. I thought things would go one way and they went a different way, and that was actually a nice surprise.
Yeah.
But overall, I liked it. I had a great time. And there's really not much bad things to say about it. It's a pretty solid movie. I just don't think it's anything spectacular.
There's it's solid, but there's nothing to get excited about.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, man, they did this.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, you watch the trailer for it, and if you like that trailer, you'll probably like it because it's exactly like that.
It's the scene. The several scenes exactly played out, which I saw in trailers. Which in a way was kind of annoying for me because it was like, oh yeah, I've seen this scene already.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I didn't watch the trailer before the movie.
You didn't watch any of the trailers?
No, I watched it after. Okay. So a lot of the jokes.
I think that was probably actually beneficial for you.
Yeah, because I heard with people that I went, like a lot of the jokes were given away in the trailer. Jokes that I thought were really funny, and everyone's like, I didn't think it was that funny. I saw it already. You know.
Yeah.
Which it's like, it's a funny joke, but when it's ruined and then you see it in the context of the movie, it seems like they busted out a lot of those in the trailer where
they did. Yeah, there was a lot of scenes, 2 scenes in particular that were like the exact same, that were just from trailers, just taken and plopped in, and with the title at the end, and that was the trailer.
Yeah.
Which I think they could have switched it up, because me going to go see it after I've seen those, I'm like, well, this isn't funny because I've already seen it.
Yeah, totally.
But it was only a couple of scenes, and that being said, those scenes were still very funny, and I like the movie. I definitely like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a rewatchable movie for sure too. It's a good summer movie. Like,
yeah.
Go see with some buddies during the summer. You got some time off. You want to go laugh. It's good.
Yeah. And it's also going to be a great, like, on demand, like, they put this up on HBO. Like, let's drink beer and watch this movie,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it had some unexpected things too that were, that I think were beneficial for it. Like, I think it kind of broke some of the cliches a little bit.
Yeah. Like,
which was nice.
Especially, I feel like the biggest one being just who the 2 main characters are. Right. So I feel like Russell Crowe got his shit together, knows what he's doing. He's a professional. He's maybe not the best professional, but he knows generally what he's doing. Yeah. And Ryan Gosling is just like a drunk fuck up. And I feel like in movies like this, it'd be flipped, and Russell Crowe would be the drunk fuck up, and he'd be like old and jaded, and be like, I just want to get wasted, and like I don't care anymore. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like that switch is nice, but then again, it's like that's an easy switch, and I felt like it's really good, and those plays on tropes are the best parts of the movie, but it does feel like they're intending to play on those tropes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I did like Ryan Gosling though.
Yeah, he was good.
Like what we were saying, him being always cool. I thought it was nice to see him in a role to where he actually had like a personality. Mm-hmm. And I didn't expect. I don't know if this is quite a spoiler, but his daughter in the movie to have such a prominent role.
I would agree. I was not expecting that at all.
I thought she would be there and then she'd go away, but she's actually kind of a main character.
Yeah. And at first I was like, get this character out of the movie.
Yeah, I
don't need to see this kid.
I'm ready.
Help him out. And when it first happens, she's like, I just came along. Sorry. Like, let me help. And you're just like, no, like, get out of the movie.
Yeah.
But honestly, it didn't bother me as much as I thought it was going to.
She actually was pretty good.
I thought she was a good actress. Like, she wasn't ever annoying.
No, she was way smarter, and she was very smart and mature for her age, obviously, and knew how her dad was. Mm-hmm. And in the end, ends up like kind of helping him. As sad as it sounds, she kind of ends up basically parenting him. To get through this rough patch that he's going through. And that's kind of like heartwarming in a way.
Yeah, it was nice. I liked that, and I think I didn't need that aspect of the movie, but if you're going to introduce this like kid character that's helping uncover the mystery, I thought they did it pretty much as good as they could. You know.
If that's what they were going for, they succeeded. And I think
in that, yeah, for sure.
In that aspect, yeah.
Because usually that's like, why is this in here? Cut this out. This is no good.
Cut the kid out. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. And like you said before, like I like that the roles were switched. Russell Crowe too. him kind of being a professional, a somewhat slimy professional, but professional nonetheless, who's kind of like got his shit together. And there's other things I want to say, but they're spoilers, so don't want to quite do that just yet. Is there anything else you have to say before? Okay.
One thing, non-spoiler, and it's very short. I'm just gonna say this movie gets an automatic extra star because Keith David was in it, and I just absolutely love Keith David. Let's get some Keith David vehicles going. I want to see Keith David star in a movie. Why hasn't this happened yet? I love that Keith David was in this movie. It was such a nice surprise. The opening credits happened, and all of us were like, Keith David's in this. This is amazing.
He was great in this.
Yeah, he's really good. I wish he was in it more, but like I understand why he's not. He's not like a super important character or anything. That red suit was pretty spiffy, though.
Yeah, there were some nice surprises. Like Matt Bomer, that character, was very interesting.
I thought that was Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he looks looks a lot like him.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, this is just a guy who looks exactly like Superman.
Exactly like him. Yeah, no, his character was interesting. Margaret Qualley, she played the character of Amelia, the one they're searching for the whole time. I don't think I don't know. I wasn't crazy about her.
Yeah.
I think it was mostly her acting. Wasn't crazy about. It was kind of just like kind of bad in certain scenes. It was just like, yeah. That's the real names of her name. Amelia. That's the character they're searching for the whole time. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about her acting or her character.
I wasn't either, and I thought
she's super hot, but like
but that's
not enough. That's it. That's all she's got going.
And I don't know
her.
if they were trying to make a statement about her trying to uncover this thing, and she's just like this girl who's in this porn, but it didn't really come out that way, and it just I couldn't tell if she was trying to play like sort of a ditzy porn actress or if that was just the performance.
Yeah, it was hard to tell. Another thing I'll say about the movie before we go into spoilers was I think like the second half of the movie was a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first half kind of seems more like a set of vignettes of things that were happening. And getting to like when they get to that party is I think when things start to get a lot better for me.
Yeah.
And it just like there's like kind of like in the middle of the movie before it gets to like the climax, it kind of felt like I don't know, it felt very different. It was very not. It's not like a lot of movies you typically see, and the way the narrative runs.
Yeah.
It's really hard to describe, but like while you're watching, you're just like, it feels off, and something feels just like quite not there. And I think that's just Shane Black's writing and direction, kind of just going off in his own direction. I don't know, just doing things in his own head, and it just felt a little weird. But once you got to kind of like the more climax scene when they get to the party, is when things started to be like a lot stronger. At least that's how I felt.
See, I kind of feel the opposite.
Really?
That when it started, probably the first 15-20 minutes, I was like, I am loving this movie. This is great.
Yeah.
And then I guess not necessarily. There was kind of a lull, like right before.
There's a lull period.
That party scene, but I thought it opened really strong. I thought the first scene was really funny.
Okay, I'll agree with you there. I definitely like the opening. Yeah.
And I like their introductions and like Ryan Gosling. Well, I guess we can get into spoilers, but when he first tries to break in to like find that info, I thought that scene was really good. And I guess it almost felt like I will say it feels weird. It does not feel like a traditional structure.
Yeah, it's strange.
But it felt nice in this is gonna sound stupid, but like almost in like a sort of TV way. Where like if the first 30 minutes just was elongated an hour and then I could watch more next week, I'd watch the next episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just it had like a nice. I liked the way that everyone was introduced and like the build towards it, and I felt like maybe the payoff was what kind of. I was just expecting more at the end.
It definitely had a television quality to it, and there's something I want to say, and spoilers too about that. But if it had like a television quality, as in like an episodic feel to it, especially by the end of the movie, you kind of feel like it's definitely you feel like you're ready for the next one.
Yeah.
You know? And how we've watched movies, I guess a lot lately with Marvel, it almost felt kind of like a superhero movie in certain ways to me.
Yeah,
it had certain aspects to it where like it felt like kind of like a superhero movie.
Like in the way
the
that you're just like checking in with the characters, kind of. You mean
checking in with the characters, them setting up, teaming up, doing the thing, and then setting up for something in the future. Kind of feeling like, okay, here's our next problem, and setting up for that. It had some of those superhero feels to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that also calls back to like old episodic television, almost like 70s buddy cop television of like, all right, back in the action. Here's our next case type thing.
Yeah, totally.
So that I liked about it a lot.
And I feel like there could have been, for me at least, the end sequence. I just kind of didn't love the climax. I think that's what kind of tapered it off for me.
Let's stop there. Let's go to spoilers.
Yeah, let's just go.
That's not good?
Let's go to Spoiler Town. First ticket.
Yeah, Spoiler Town starting right now.
My daughter is in danger.
You can hire us, but we're not cheap. That's a lot of work.
We're the world's worst detectives.
The world's worst. Got a cool ad, though. Made your hair small because I know you're sensitive about how big it is.
The Nice Guys. Rated R.
What were you saying, Zach?
The end just didn't really do it for me. And
which part of the ending?
I don't know. It just felt very. It felt like this movie was trying to subvert a lot of things. Like it was trying to. I don't think it did. I think it did in little ways, but I felt like the end, that whole like at the car show climax.
Yeah.
It needed. It was too big scale. And maybe I'm just biased, but I really like small scale, big scale. It's big scale for the
before.
Yeah. Big scale for the characters, small scale in terms of like what's actually happening, you know?
Right.
And I felt like the party scene was already huge, you know?
Yeah.
It was like a big production, lots of stuff happening, and I felt like the end was a slightly bigger version of that.
Yeah. And, you know, that's another thing about the movie. I felt like there were too many of those climactic scenes back to back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the party scene that should have just been like, that was small scale. That should have just been the end of the movie.
It could have been.
It could have been.
And
but then they went to the next like a set piece, and then there was a whole other like type of climax scene.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, now it feels long.
I could have stood. It's a PI movie. I could have stood from just more like knocking down doors and like asking people questions.
As these ridiculously silly comedic characters.
Because it's like, it feels more like a cop movie than it does a PI movie.
It does feel like a cop movie.
And I would have liked it to be more like a detective PI thing, you know?
Sure.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. But,
it felt like they were cops, but they're not. They're just... They're PIs.
Yeah, and what's Russell? Is Russell Crowe like an enforcer or whatever? He calls himself something weird. He's basically a PI. It doesn't really matter.
He's like a hired gun. He's just like he gets hired to like smash people's faces in and send messages out, and but also does investigations.
Yeah,
whatever the money pays for, basically.
Totally. And I feel like.
And Ryan Gosling is kind of less of an enforcer, but he's just like, I just investigate things for money.
I feel like he's pretty classic PI, but like fuck up PI.
Yeah, like he's just fucked up in his own life, like his personal life.
Yeah. I do like the jokes of him continuously getting drunk and like not being able to do stuff. Like at the end when it's like it's open bar, he's like, well, all right. You know?
Oh, that part is hilarious.
Yeah, like that's great. Like
that's part of his character. He's like, he's an alcoholic.
yeah,
you know,
it's like, who's gonna turn down an open bar? It's like, well, you know what I mean?
but also he's just always drunk and always drinking.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I'm not gonna drink, and they're just like, oh, it's open bar. And he's like, he gives this look towards him.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. It's super fun.
Yeah.
But
one thing I also really loved about his character. Sorry.
no, it's fine.
One thing I really loved about his character, I didn't want to spoil before, but the whole not being able to die thing.
yeah.
Really good.
Yeah,
really
it's
really
great.
funny and really innovative and very original.
Him
and
just
I like that.
falling through those multiple panes of glass.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. It works.
But it's cool because they start off. One of the first shots of the movie is his hand. You see that, like, it looks like a tattoo on his hand. It says, "You will not die," or "You cannot die," or something like that. And you're just like, you think nothing of it in the beginning, and then things get progressively worse, and higher stakes are happening, and he just doesn't die. He just like goes to these, and then he starts to realize, like, I don't think I could die. I don't think.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, it's just a marker, and it's like scraped off, and it says the not part of like, "You will not die." That was scraped off and says, "You will die." And at that point, he seems to become mortal, and like that's really near the end of his character's arc. But like, I don't know, I really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Like bringing that kind of very subtly into it and like making it part of his character. And that's another thing that kind of made it feel more like a superhero type thing. Like that was his power or something.
Yeah, I get that.
That's how I kind of felt. It was like he was like a comic book PI. Like he had like a special kind of ability, and it played through the movie. He just like he couldn't die, even though he was like fucking drunk the entire time. You know what I mean?
It's pretty outrageous.
Which is it's hilarious. So I really like that about it.
Totally. And I like I was saying, I didn't want to ruin jokes in the spoilers, but all the tropes that they play, like that, especially the scene in the beginning where he's like, is it worth it? Like, only if you get the information or something, in the voiceover, and he knocks that window out. And it's like, there's so many movies people knock the window out, go in, and it's just like, whatever. And he knocks the window out, and it's just bleeding profuse. He's like, oh, shit. It's just like, has to go to the hospital. It's like, that's a great joke. It's super funny.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good play on the trope. You're right. That's a great scene.
And also,
he's
like them...
he even wraps his hand, like, I'm going to break into it, and smashes it, and his hand's like
bleeding.
It's
like,
that's a lot of blood.
Yeah, what's this old rag going to do against broken glass on my hand, you know? It's like, that's super funny. Them, like, going like, all right, let's get rid of this body, and throwing it over a fence, because usually it's like, let's throw it over the fence, we're good. And it just falls on like a... Which I feel like this is one of the ones that was ruined in the trailer, right?
I don't remember seeing it in the trailer.
Oh, okay. Sean, when I saw it with him, he was like, the joke got ruined for me.
Oh, I don't remember that. That was new for me, so maybe saw a different one.
But yeah, I thought that joke was great too, because there's so many times like they're just thrown over this fence. Like, what are they doing? You know?
And it's done. It's done. Yeah.
Yeah. It just falls on this family's party.
Just like who's having like a nice family dinner.
Super funny. Like jokes like that are really funny. But
his dead body just slamming on this glass table.
Yeah. But I feel like this movie isn't like a straight up comedy, and if it was, maybe it would be better. But yeah, it's just like they didn't bring enough to the serious side of the table to like make that half of it work, basically.
Yeah, I think it leans more well, for me, it felt like more wacky comedy.
I just wish they pushed that a little further, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like the end climax. This is what I was saying earlier, that I didn't want to give anything away, but basically what I'm saying is just like the climax was very generic, where it's like, all right, there's a clock, the projector's going to go on. Like, we need to get this item from like this certain place. And it's just that. And it's like, all right, there's this big event, there's a clock, and there's an item, and we need to get that. And I feel like that's the way a lot of these movies go, And I wish that they had paid as much attention in the subverting the genre in the humor as they did with like the actual plot structure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I have nothing to follow that.
No, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
like there are funny jokes, like him dropping the film reel and falling through like the 3 or 4 panes of glass or whatever it
Yep.
is, and like that's funny, and like I don't know, there's certain funny things about it, but at the end of the day, I feel like the finale just played too conventional for what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I think it's almost like they wrote this, like he was writing the script, he had these ideas, and then he either gave up near the end, or like it was modified post script. Like,
Yeah.
you need to have this kind of ending to kind of,
Yeah, it's like, well, you already have this party scene. The next scene's got to be bigger than that, or else it doesn't work.
yeah, and we're short on time, so we need to like make it longer.
But
so we need another set piece.
yeah, but actually, I feel like that party scene was enough for me. I would have liked
enough
to see that last scene been like really small scale of them two in like a gunfight with like one guy, in like a house. That would have been really cool.
The fight scene with Keith David was pretty badass.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, totally. With the hot tub or whatever.
And the gun in the hot tub shooting it through and it starts pouring out. It was the fighting was pretty cool, and this is a thing I forgot to mention too. I'm just now remembering. Shane Black, he knows action, right?
Yeah,
he knows action movies. You get some good action out of this movie.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's super fun, and the action's good.
I don't know how it was for your theater, but the sound in my theater was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gunshots, boom! You could really feel that sound. The sound was like very well mixed.
Yeah.
And but just like the action, it was just great. Great action, great choreography, and fight scenes were just great. And the sound with that is awesome, which it's cool to have on top of just like being like a silly comedy, but also having some like actual like talent with that aspect of the movie.
Totally, yeah.
So yeah, it was great action. Have you seen any of Shane Black's previous movies?
I've seen he directed.
I haven't seen too many.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, right? And other than that, I don't know if I've seen anything he's directed or just written. Let me see.
I've never really seen any of the Lethal Weapons, which he wrote.
Oh yeah,
he wrote those.
Dude, the Lethal Weapon movies are great. I guess I can speak for the first one. I was gonna rewatch them before this, but I didn't end up doing it. Whoa, he wrote the Monster Squad? That's amazing.
Yeah, never seen that either.
That movie's outrageous.
I've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Iron Man 3, which it was definitely different than the other Iron Man movies.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
I think
I liked
the whole like hundreds of, or not hundreds, but multiple suits on their own business was a little much. But
yeah. Plus, there's one major flaw with Iron Man 3, which is he has access to the suits, but doesn't like eject the suits to like fight for him until the very end. He's like, "Oh yeah, I can do this."
Yeah, it seems like you may pull that out a little sooner.
You could have done that at the very beginning of the movie, and the movie be over. But okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was good.
Yeah, I feel like also Iron Man 3 has some great plays on tropes for superhero movies.
It does. It totally does.
Which I guess kind of makes sense in his filmography trajectory as it's looking right now. Hopefully, The Predator is great. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, he's gonna direct that.
It's pretty sweet. He was in the original one, so.
He acted in RoboCop 3.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, RoboCop 3 is brutal. Have you seen RoboCop 3?
It's so bad.
Like, everyone's like, dude, Frank Miller's a genius. It's like, oh, really? Go watch RoboCop 3. You fucking kidding me? He's a genius? Get out of here with that.
I actually watched that a few months ago for the first time, and I was, like, laughing.
Yeah, it's fucking outrageous.
Yeah. But, anyway.
Yeah.
Back to the movie. Yeah, I don't know how much more I can say other than generally I really enjoyed it. I don't think it was amazing, but I really respect a lot of the things that they were going for. Mm-hmm. And as you said, I liked the tropes. The play on the tropes was very funny. And in the end, it ends up being kind of a movie that we've seen before. It's not anything completely original, but it also plays on the fact that we've seen those types of movies before.
Totally.
Which is very cool and very respectable. And also has this really great action, scenes, and it's just very funny. So it's a good summer movie.
Yeah, I'd say go see it if you're looking for something fun, but just don't look for much else, you know.
And it's not completely mindless either.
Oh no, it's not mindless. It's just I was looking for a little more substance, I guess.
Yeah.
And it wasn't quite there. But I think as a fun popcorn movie, it's one of the better ones I've seen recently. I really liked it. And in that regard, but yeah, it's I just wish they followed through more on that concept of playing on the tropes and like worked it into like the structure of the movie and the finale, and like
they could have made that the whole thing.
Yeah, instead of just making jokes that were like that, like treated the movie like that. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It could have, instead of just being another one of those movies that just hinted at playing on those tropes, of them actually making the trope the movie, like making those tropes part of the film, would have been interesting.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, and subverting it more there, and especially when you're making something like about the porn industry like that. It's not about the porn industry. It takes place in the porn industry, but they're not saying anything about it.
Yeah, you're right. They don't say anything about it. It just happens to be part of the world that they live in.
Yeah.
But there's no message about it.
And it's
whatsoever.
like, granted, this is an unfair comparison because Boogie Nights is incredible. But like,
of course.
Boogie Nights.
But you can't help but think of that.
Yeah, movie, Boogie Nights is about the porn industry, and granted, also this movie isn't solely about the porn industry,
right?
But
it's also a '70s movie.
Yeah, it says something about it. You know, it uses that, but it's also saying something, and I feel like this movie just uses it for using it, and I didn't really get any sort of message about that, and I feel like that would have been very easy and important to incorporate.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Well said. What would you rate the movie?
I think I'm going to give it a 3.
I agree with you. I'd give it a 3 as well.
I'd say go see it if you're looking for something fun, but that's about it. It's fun.
Yeah, I say most moviegoers that aren't like cinephiles like us would probably really enjoy it.
Yeah.
For people like us who analyze these films for fun, for a podcast, we have our reasons for not putting it at the top of our list.
Yeah.
But I would say that a normal moviegoer would find some enjoyment out of it, out of the sheer fun. But also, if you just look more into movies, you can see some of the things that we pointed out, like some of the tropes it makes fun of, and some of those cliches it kind of tackles and narrates on a little bit. But in the end, it's a fun action comedy 70s film that's it's a lot of fun. It's a great summer film, and a great popcorn flick, and I think most people would enjoy, but it's not something that's going to make like my top 10 at the end of the year.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You know,
it's I'd say if you're really itching to go see it, you should, because you'll probably enjoy it, at least for the price of admission.
Yeah.
But if you're on the fence about seeing it, just wait till it shows up on like HBO or something, and you'll have a good night, like getting juiced watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fun movie, not a fantastic movie.
Yep.
But it's also meant to be fun, so like I understand. But I feel like there were clear opportunities to do something with it that they didn't do.
Yeah. Yep. I agree, and I think that's a fair review on our end. So yeah, that's it. That concludes our review for The Nice Guys.
Here we go.
Good talk, Zach.
Yeah, good talk.
Let's give a final sip on our beers and
Oh,
final thoughts on that.
This beer is good, and it's also 10%, which I am 100% feeling right now.
I may have been stumbling a little bit through the end part of this podcast because this shit is strong and very tasty. I love. It's so weird. It's a flavor that you're not used to with a beer, but like a fruit watermelon undertone.
Yeah, but not sweet. That's what's interesting about it.
But it's not sweet. It's not a sweet flavor. It's just like an aftertaste of watermelon. It's very weird.
It's interesting. I would get it again. I definitely liked it. And it gets you juiced. I'll say that.
Strong and very smooth for a double IPA. I gotta say.
Doesn't taste strong.
It doesn't. 10%. That's nice.
I didn't even look because I was like, "There's no way this is like a heavy beer."
Yeah, I would just. I just thought it'd be like 8%.
Yeah.
Or if
five
that,
or
maybe
6 or
five or 5 or 6. But anyway, good stuff. So as always, you can follow us on Twitter at LTURAM podcast. You can also please be sure to follow us on Facebook, and you can find more of our episodes on iTunes, Podomatic. Podomatic also is online, and there's also a mobile app, so you can listen to us on there as well. And we have our podcast on YouTube as well, so feel free to check us out there. You can also feel free to email us questions, concerns, whatever, and we'll repeat them on the show. You can email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com. And please subscribe, rate, and review us, and share with your friends. We'd greatly appreciate that. Yeah, and until next time, Zach.
Until next time.
After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. After 3 days in the desert fun, I was looking at a riverbed, and the story it told of a river that flowed made me sad to think it was dead. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 had turned to sea. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. The ocean is a desert with its life underground and the perfect disguise above. Under the cities lies a heart made of brown, but the humans will give no love. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La, la, la.